we are eager to share. We are eager to share. There are so many topics that we can, we want to say discuss, but truly just a sharing from, we would say, our perspective, wanting, desiring ones upon Mother Earth to feel better than perhaps one is feeling. Tracy is the medium in which collective consciousness flows through. Tracy is receiving source energy. Tracy has moved aside, if you will, and has become, we want to say, the conduit for the great heavens to speak. Tracy sees it as the great heavens. Some will see it as something different. But Tracy says it is all loving, divine goodness from above. So she sees it as a connection to the heavens. And with her gifts of mediumship, she is able to communicate with past loved ones. So it truly does feel like heaven, naturally so. So in the world of, we want to say, humanness, if that is a word, in the world of being human comes with having emotions. Ones perhaps will agree that if one has transitioned from physical form to eternal light, emotions are sort of left behind. Resentments and anger and frustration, because it all becomes loving light. It's in the pureness of love. A love so grand, it is light. A light so grand, it is love. Physical form allows one to explore, experience, create all emotions from anger to joy. What happens with other people? So someone has entered your pathway and you're moving along quite nicely. Think of it as a nice walk in the sunshine. And all of a sudden you do not agree on something, or they present to you something that it doesn't resonate with you at all. And it doesn't take long for sort of the pathway to move along. We're being gentle because it is being observed that people are truly mistreating people. We want to say in the land of social media, there is a wonderful exposure, if you will, for ones to convey deep, powerful messages of love, kindness, compassion. There are many videos placed out where one is rescuing an animal, all the good deeds that surface in a daytime. And there's the contrast, sort of like anger and happiness. There is a contrast. And the contrast is truly a place for ones to pass, we want to say pass great judgment, for ones to attack another. It is so almost easy to do. And with social media, and we're not just talking about social media, with the internet itself, it creates a space of grand sharing. And it creates a space of grand sharing. But the question is, what is being shared? What is being shared? We create books in the desire for ones to find wisdom and insights, to create a space to feel better, to create a space to understand the world a little better. And we would say, what if you could see the world through the eyes of Source? Now Tracy, she is receiving Source, she is receiving collective consciousness, and she will be the first to say, I'm living here among people. And as much as she enjoys and adores people, there is a contrast, and everyone holds the same sort of understanding. Everyone, most. You have ones in your life that bring you tremendous joy, and there are ones in your life that have brought you tremendous pain. It's the contrast. So here we are wanting to speak about what happens with people. And isn't it something that one can have a grand relationship and all of a sudden, almost on a flip of a coin, if you will, it is ended. It is just ended. Someone has said something, a careless statement perhaps, someone has done something, and the other just says, no, done. There is so much regarding the internet. It is easy for ones to feel very replaceable. And it is easy for ones to replace, if you will. So one's going along, oh, you're not making me happy? Don't worry about it, because there are a million more that I can talk with. And it is true that ones feel this sense of not needing anyone, because there's so much to choose from. There is so much to choose from. And we say it that way because decades ago, as you know, in a small community, it was a small community. You did not truly know what was going on. There was going back to a time where travel was not a daily activity. So ones didn't move out of, if you will, not often. So they were presented with finding their relationships within the community, finding their relationships within their family and friends. And it feels as though that those relationships had tremendous bonds, because it's truly all they had, if you will, dependent on the other. And going way back in time, ones were dependent, that this one would bring this to the table, this one would bring that to the table, and everyone had a role. Now, moving to present day, the roles have changed tremendously. The roles have changed tremendously, because there is so much that one can create. And it is grand, the creation that is going on. The creation that is going on. Tracy says that with her books. There are endless books. It's like a drop in the ocean. How is anyone ever going to find a book when there are hundreds of thousands of books? Where back in time, if you will, there was not if we want to say, the selection as there is today. And that goes with many things. So, we want to speak about relationships. We want to keep the videos shortened, if you will, but it's difficult because Tracy has no concept of time when we are visiting, and she has no one around to say, okay, time is up. And we truly want to give insightful messages that allows one to find a space of more gentleness. Find a space of more ease in oneself, more ease with others. There's much agitation going on between others. And even if two are quarreling and not speaking, there is a vibration that is held, naturally so. And that vibration causes a vibration among all. Think about it. We shared that emotions are a vibration, which they are. And so every emotion that you are feeling goes forward, goes outward. So if you have many, all feeling anger, deep anger, rage, all at one time, the vibration goes out and it is felt. Ones can be miles away and feel that vibration. It is of grand truth. And it is of truth for the opposite. If ones all come together in the sense of blessings, in the sense of prayer, if you will, desiring, wishing for others the goodness that Mother Earth holds, wishing for peace on the planet, wishing for compassion, wishing for kindness. We say wishing because just presenting the feeling of compassion, the feeling of kindness, it goes out and it is felt, and it is scientifically proven. It truly is. So emotions are a vibration. We have talked about that, but we want to combine it with how your emotions or the emotions of others can truly present a road of relationships, meaning how does one interact and how is one interacting? if you will. Relationships are not easy. Even the most joyful ones come with a little something, a little sprinkle of something. And we are wanting to share, to be mindful of how you are presenting your words, your thoughts, your feelings. Are you conveying the compassion that is needed? And we say the compassion that is needed because it is so easy to be misunderstood, especially when we talk about social media, especially when we talk about the internet. We can talk about texting, email, anything that ones do not see physical form. They are only reading the words. There are some who have taken the English language, or any language truly, Tracy is speaking English language, and have condensed it from words to just a letter. And they're wanting to convey their message from words to a letter, and thinking it's going to be relayed in the way they think about it in their mind. So the words can be written, somebody writes something, and as Tracy's had this experience, and she just had this experience, so this is why we're talking about it. Someone has presented something wonderful. And Tracy wrote, "Good for you, good for you." She was excited, she was elated, she was so abundantly happy with the other's success, if you will. Good for you. On the other end, good for you, depending how one is feeling at the time of the receiving, because isn't it of grand truth, if the one that was on the receiving end, they read how their emotions, this is really powerful, one's emotions, so we want to back it up a little bit. When you are going about your day, and you are joyful and happy and abundantly inspired, everything has a different look to it, has a different feel to it, because you're in the vibration of. But if you're having a day that is extremely difficult, if you're having a day that you feel awful, just in the bottom of awful, you are just worn out, washed out, tired of all things, you feel angry, you feel resentful, you feel discarded, however you are feeling, and words come to you, you naturally place how you're feeling with the words. So the joyful person, "Oh, good for you," not joyful, abundant, exciting. The receiver, if the receiver is not in that space, and the receiver has just had enough of everything, doesn't even know how they're going to get through their day, good for you becomes, of course it's good for me. They take it as sarcasm. They take it as someone being, pointing a sharp stick at them. Good for me. Oh, because I have success, they're going to be jealous. How does it work? So we want you to be mindful when you are presenting your words, when you are presenting words that do not have a tone, be mindful that the receiver may not get the tone. And everyone has had this, most have had this experience. There have been relationships end because a good for you, happy good for you, was not taken in the proper way. And ones will say, well, if the relationship ended over that, it wasn't much of a relationship. Perhaps not. But ones can easily dismiss others. Why is that? Why are people so easily dismissed, so easily discarded? One doesn't just do the right thing at the right time in the right moment, and they're discarded. Why? Well, you're not my friend anymore, and a click of a button. Okay, well, you have another 1,000 or 10 or 5. It is coming to a place where ones are creating, we want to say, and it's always been, but it's magnified now, with communication with another. Communication has truly broken down. It is true. One of the challenges with texting, years ago, we were going way back in time, where a letter was sent. Dearest Bob, dearest. And the letter was written in care, if you will, most times, because there wasn't the fast, effective communication. So the letter was written, placed, and mailed. It took a long time for the receiver to receive the letter. Then the receiver received the letter, and then they had to sit and write a letter back, and all this processing, and then that went a week. Everything is so instant. It is so instant. Communication is instant. And so a message comes through, and ones don't take the time to even think about what that message really meant. What do they mean? If you just took some time to sort of, if you're unsure about what the other was presenting to you, sometimes it's very, very noticeable when someone is angry. But try a delay before responding. Because a quick response doesn't come from the heart. A quick response usually comes from hurt held in the heart. A quick response comes from the anger that perhaps is being held. A quick response is not a response that has much care in it. Now, we're speaking about ones that create a space to have very intimate relationships through a text. There have been ones that have ended relationships by a text. And they'll say, well, couldn't even call me, couldn't even. Why is that? Why has it become so easy for ones to discard, dismiss, be unkind, be uncaring, because they can send a text, a quick text? What happened? What is happening to people's relationships? And even a bigger question, what is happening to people within themselves? What is going on within oneself that one can just click a button and the person is gone? But they sure don't like it when someone else clicks a button and they are gone, if you will. So, a little tidbit of information just to share about relationships. We wanted to do a segment titled, It's Not BS, or Is It? It's Not You, It's Me, or Is It? And we played around with the titles, but truly, the title is, Are you being mindful? Are you being mindful? Are you being caring? Are you being compassionate? Are you being kind? Are you taking responsibility for your communication? Now, Tracy will be the first to say, ooh, I've had my share of communication. Thank you very much. And on the internet, it is so easy to condemn. It is so easy to place harsh judgment upon someone. Someone places a video and strangers get quite a kick out of being unkind. Why is that? Why is that? And if emotions are a vibration, which they are, all the unkindness, where is it going? Where is it going? So we will complete the little segment here. We're going to create a few this day. The sun is not shining, so the lighting is not as grand as it usually is. But we are here. We are wanting to share. And if you found this video, isn't it grand? And Tracy will be the first one to say, how does anyone find anything? There is so much. She may look at her 10 views, if you will, and she'll say, I don't know. The message is good. We just share. let it go. Create the message, create the video, let it go. Just let it go. Let it go. See where it goes. See who finds it. So if you found it, exciting, we will meet you back, or perhaps not. Really good. There is great love for you. Thank you.